The video I made at Goldee's Barbecue outside of Fort Worth, Texas a few weeks ago is the most viewed, the most liked, and the most commented on videos since I started on YouTube over 3 years ago. You guys loved that video, as did I. But there was one comment that just kept coming back over and over and over and over again. And that was questioning Johnny's advice about how to season a brisket.
I'm not gonna hit the sides. All that pepper will kind of attract the smoke and the heat, and it'll kind of dry out those sides.
But fans of Bradley Robinson over at Chud's Barbecue weren't convinced.
And don't forget the sides. It'll be a rookie move. Please, folks, don't forget the sides. And don't forget the sides, folks. Come on. And don't forget the sides. Please, don't forget the sides. See, a lot of people forgetting their sides. Don't want to do that.
So you guys know me, where there's a controversy, let's do a test. These two briskets and I are gonna find out together with you whether Bradley's right or whether Jerby's right. Let's jump right in. All right, so I'm just gonna trim up these briskets the way that Johnny taught me to do it over at Goldee's. So I'm gonna start by taking the mohawk off, and then let's trim down the sides and see what we're working with here. All right, we got quite a bit of fat cap here that's gonna need to be trimmed up. This is super thin, so we're gonna go ahead and trim that and round it out. This isn't actually even point meat. This is just another muscle that was attached. So I'm just gonna remove that, and that's gonna be sausage. It's kind of ugly anyway. Now, as Johnny taught us, we are not gonna remove any of this decal fat. So this is gonna stay, and then over here, we're gonna start to trim. I think this one's ready. Let's trim the other one. Gonna do the same thing, starting with the mohawk. The side actually looks pretty well exposed. I don't think I need to do much other than trim out this thin part here. Big piece of fat to expose there, but look at how nice that flat looks. All right, we got two briskets ready for seasoning. Let's go get some hot water. All right, we got some hot water here, which Johnny explained helps to soften the fat. And I've got Goldee's brisket rub, just like we used last time when I tried to recreate theirs at home. So we're gonna do a light coat on the bottom here, then a heavier dusting up top here. And then this one I'm gonna spritz the sides. And as Bradley would say,
don't forget the sides. We're not going to skip the sides, because that would be a rookie move.
By now the smoker's running at 275. Meet you over at the grill. All right, I'm gonna put the brisket on here that has the sides seasoned on the back, and the brisket that has the sides not seasoned on the front here. Now I'm gonna use meter probes to keep track of the cook. So I'm gonna put probe number 1 here, right in the thickest part of the flat here of the brisket with the sides seasoned, and probe 2 in the same spot on the brisket with the bare sides. So brisket 1, the one with the seasoned sides, set up the cook, beef, roast, brisket. We don't know whether it's gonna be 203, but we're gonna take it till it's done. This will allow us to track it. We'll start, and then the same thing, number 2, beef, roast, brisket, start, cook. So normally we wouldn't check this for 8 or 9 hours. That's the way they do it at Goldee's, or at least that's what Johnny told me. But given the fact that we're doing this test, I wanna come back in about 3 and see whether we can tell a difference with the brisket that has the seasonings on the side versus the one that doesn't. Okay, well, we got 2 very good looking briskets here. We're getting some heat over here. Now remember, this one's got seasoning on the sides and this one doesn't. I can't tell if the sides are drying out like Johnny said they would. They might be drier over here than over here. I mean, it's gonna be hard to tell. I guess we just gotta let this keep going. Let's come back and check in a couple more hours, see if it's more obvious. Maybe we'll rotate these around, put the point away from the fire at that point if this keeps cooking quite a bit, but I think we're on the right path here. 5 hours in, oh boy, we're looking good. By the way, pork belly, that's my attempt at redemption for my failed Goldee's pork belly cook. But let's look at these briskets. We're clearly coming up into the stall. We're pushing the moisture out. I'm not seeing any evidence that either of these is dry on the sides now. And honestly, I'm getting great color all the way around. I kind of like how they look. I think I might flip them around just because the heat's catching the point this way. All right, this one has no seasoning on the sides. And this one has seasoning on the sides. I'd say they're looking pretty similar. We'll see when we get there. Check back in a couple of hours. All right, we're 8 hours in. These briskets are looking pretty amazing, I'll be honest with you, both of them. I'm not seeing any signs of sides drying out like Johnny said. Still not there from a jiggle perspective. It still feels a little tough. Same thing here. Let's see what we're doing on temperature. So this one's, yeah, we're still just probing at about 160. We got a ways to go over here even after 8 hours. And the point, a little warmer. Okay, this one's a little warmer, 168. We still got several hours to go. So we'll check back in a couple more hours. All right, we are almost at 12 hours. I'm hoping we're close here. No, this is still probing tough. The point feels ready, but not the flat. Let's see about this one. This one's closer, but it's not ready yet either. The point is definitely ready, but we got a little ways to go. 13 and a half hours in, Nick. What do you think? Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. All right, that one's ready. Okay, they're both ready to pull. So let's go ahead and get these pulled and wrapped the Goldee's way. So I'm gonna put down about a cup of tallow. On goes the brisket. I'm gonna leave that meter thermometer in there, poke a little hole here so I can keep track of what happens with the temperature and know when it gets to 140. Now we let these rest until the internal temperature drops to 140 because that's where Johnny tells us we're supposed to be tasting. And finally, we'll be able to tell whether Bradley's right, whether Johnny's right, or whether neither of them are right. All right, Marine. I know you didn't keep track of which one's which, and that's good because it means I
actually don't know which one's which.
It means I don't have to blindfold you. So, you know what we're testing here is Jerby, no seasonings on the side, dries it out.
Yeah.
Bradley,
gotta go with the sides.
don't forget the sides.
Don't forget the sides.
Right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull out a slice here. Like all that matters is the sides, right?
Yeah. I mean,
I'm
that
gonna
makes
give
the
you-
difference, right?
I'm gonna give you an edge here.
All right. Cheers.
Cheers.
So good.
So anything missing?
No.
Sides
Tender,
dry.
delicious. I mean, I don't know, it just tastes fantastic.
All right, so here's number 2. All right.
All right.
Cheers.
That one.
This one tastes better to you?
I can taste the seasoning better. I can taste the bark better on that one. That one's better.
Didn't dry out?
No. That one, I mean, they're both delicious. They're both super juicy. The juiciness is equal,
Okay,
but the flavor is better on that one.
because this is the Bradley brisket. This is, don't forget the sides.
Chud. All right, well, let's see what the point.
All right, here we go. Cheers.
All right, one more.
All right, here's some Johnny Point.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Still, both are super delicious. Both of them are equally as juicy.
So no diss to
So the
Johnny,
dry-
but
he's not technically wrong. It's not making it drier.
but it
It's
did.
not
Yeah,
doing
this idea that he said this was going to dry it out, that didn't pan
that.
out.
That didn't pan out, and
Like you're fine doing it this way.
yeah, the smoke got onto that a little bit more, and it clung to the bark.
Right.
And it didn't overcook that. So that was the major
Right.
difference.
Now, this was still not as tender as the brisket that we had at Goldee's.
So what do you
In my
think is
opinion.
the solution?
So I think we got to test another Johnny theory.
Another Goldee's brisket follow-up.
That's right. So Johnny, I'm sorry that this didn't work out, but maybe you'll be right about the long rest.
Who
So
knows?
I bought a warmer that
Okay.
we've been testing. We
think
did
I
the
saw
pork belly in the warmer earlier. So that's what we're going to film next.
All right.
So it means another marathon brisket session. If Johnny's right, there won't be a difference between the two. If every other YouTuber is right, because they've all latched onto this whole Goldee's long rest thing,
Yep.
well then Johnny might start not being nice to me and might become a troll.
You're
for
still
me.
talking about how great Goldee's brisket
It
is.
is still amazing.
you know, so-
All right, I'm sorry, Johnny, but we got to put it to the test. So come back in a couple of weeks and you'll see that. In the meantime, if you want to see the video where Johnny taught me how to make brisket Goldee style, check it out. It's going to be right up there. And if you want to see the video that I made with Bradley where he taught me how to make sausage, it's going to be right
over
down there. So watch one of those two, and we'll see you next week on Eat More Vegans.